Hello guys! Today's video is about a game called Helldivers 2. This is an epic 1-4-player PvE first, third-person shooter filled with intense and epic battles, where you find yourself fighting on dozens or more planets, facing off against terminate bots, automation machines, and yet-to-be-seen threats in the name of Super Earth and democracy. The game takes place 100 years after the events of the first game, with the resurgence of democracy-hating murderous enemies looking to once again threaten the peace and freedom of the superior human race. The story progresses as major orders are failed or succeeded with the progression planned for either scenario, which makes it engaging to check in with the game every few days for the new story events. You start off in a boot camp tutorial where you are introduced to all the game's basic mechanics like walking, shooting, healing, destroying enemy spawns, calling in equipment and like. Afterwards, you will find yourself on your very own super destroyer, which you get to name using a number of preset words to combine into a name fitting your peace-dispensing spaceship. There you will find you can collect samples on missions to upgrade call-in equipment and air support, as well as unlock new equipment and weapons using requisitions, base currency. You will also find a Warbond store, which is a store where you can buy new pieces of armor, capes, weapons, grenades, and perks and premium currencies, which you buy with Warbonds. Medals found in matches, rewards for completing missions, private objectives, and major orders. There is also a premium store where you can buy additional armor and equipment not available to the regular store, but still using the same Warbonds. You can get enough premium currency to buy premium passes from missions and other passes. From the map at the deck, you can select the world you want to drop onto to complete missions, but those worlds depend on the progress of fellow Helldivers, as once a world is liberated you can no longer access it unless it is retaken by enemies, which happens via story events where you have to defend a planet to 100% in a set amount of time, otherwise it gets taken over by the enemy. Once your world is chosen, you get to select the sets of missions you want to complete. Your weapons and up to 4 pieces of call-in equipment and deploy. Number of equipment may be reduced depending on a world's passive effect. The equipment can be called in once you land, which is done via directional button prompt, adding an extra bit of engagement to the game. But be careful, as a wrong input means you have to do it all over again. And try not to fall when holding calls-ins, as if you get knocked down, you will drop them, meaning they will be called in right on top of you, which can prove deadly. There are various sets of objectives which you can see available on the world map, and they work in various sets depending on the difficulty. Only 2 missions on lower difficulties, 3 missions on higher difficulty. When the objective is complete, you can extract to gain bonus requisition depending on the number of surviving Helldivers and the amount of sample you survived with. If you complete the objective but the squad gets fully wiped, all is good, you died for a good cause and completed your objective. If you get wiped and fail to succeed, let's just say that the records won't show it. There is a limited amount of respawns available depending on the number of Helldivers in your squad. For each Helldiver, the number goes by 5, up to maximum of 20. Each world also has its own passive, debuffs and events making a planet more hostile to life or just making it more difficult longer to get your hands on call-in equipment. And a fellow Helldiver disconnects from the game, you can call down as SOS beacon to increase the chances to someone else taking their place. After completing the mission, sets the percent of world liberations goes up, and once it reaches 100%, the world is once again under the control of democracy. The game looks amazing and cinematic and is pretty well optimized. The enemies have various designs which also look great. It's not the best looking game, but it's pretty high up there. Talking about audio and music, the game has some great and epic soundtracks to accompany you on your missions, and it also voice acted for NPCs on your ships and announcer while on mission. Your character is also voice acted, spitting some cheesy lines as well as screams of terror, pain and freedom as they get torn to shreds or shot to bits. The game is overall an amazing experience, well worth the price, as you can easily sink in the very last dozens, more likely hundreds of hours, and still enjoy the experience. It does have some issues with crashing, but that's about the only thing I can think to complain of. So this brings me to the end of our small review. Let me know in the comments whether you like this game or you just passed by it and you don't want to waste time on this kind of games. Leave your comments, let's discuss, put your thumbs up, and I'll see you next video.